right. Welcome back to the Friday Night Smackdown Aftershow. Okay. So we're going to do this style because I seem to be getting better views when I do it this way rather than when I go live. So maybe if you guys show up for the lives more, then I will do my lives more. But unless something major happens, I probably will keep the format this way. But you guys let me know in the comments if you prefer it this way or if you want it in the live. Either way, I got content coming. So let's get it started. The show popped off for Friday Night Smackdown with Jimmy Uso. Jimmy Uso came out there to basically let everybody know that he is okay, even though he's a little banged up after War Games. He is all right. He also was saying that he is very proud of his family's lineage. He's proud of everything that they've been able to build, and he's proud of every single one of his brothers and his cousin. He's proud of all of them, including Solo. Despite the things that he has done or does, he still is proud of his little brother. So the question was, what's on the table for Big Jim? What's next? And his answer was he didn't know. But he said that the world has a many possibilities and they are opening to him. And this coming year, he is going to be utilizing those possibilities. He said, I could be a Royal Rumble winner. I said, true, you could be. He said, I could be going after the U.S. title. I'm like, I like the sound of that. That sounds pretty dope. He said, I could go after the big one, the WWE Undisputed Championship. I said, wait a minute now. I said, dream big, Big Jim. You dream big and you reach for the stars. I don't know if you're going to get it, but you keep reaching. Now, as he was giving this speech and he basically was telling everybody, thank y'all for supporting him, and everybody was, supporting him and loving on him, that is when Drew McIntyre showed up and kicked Jimmy in the face and took him out. Now, Nick came down there and basically was scolding them like, hey, I didn't invite you here for all this bullshit. I don't know what fuck wrong with you, but it don't look good with you coming to my show and the superstars that are on my show right now. I'm coming here to talk to you about being a part of the roster and you out here attacking my people. This don't look good. Drew McIntyre didn't say nothing. He just cheesing and grinning and smiling, happy as a camper. Okay, because he done did what he set out to do. Now, this obviously is meant to agitate and antagonize Jey Uso, which it probably will, despite what's happening between the twins or what has happened between them. They have learned to reconcile and get themselves together. So they are on one accord as a team. But that's still his brother. At the end of the day, that's his brother. And you doing shit on purpose because you ain't got shit else to do. That's the problem. You don't have nothing to do, so you're creating a problem. Okay? But you finna write a check that your ass can't cash. Now, I am of the belief that just because you start something don't mean you're gonna be the one to finish it. Okay? Just keep that in mind. Okay? Keep that in mind. As the show progressed, it did show that the next matchup was between Michin and Tiffany Stratton, which I will get to in a second. But in the back, once it came from commercial, we talked to Nick, Bianca, and Naomi. Now, in this particular conversation, Nick Aldis did want to have a combo with Bianca because Jade Cargill is still out. And side note, outside of kayfabe, there are rumors still circulating that she actually is legitimately injured. So I don't know what the truth is. She either injured or she ain't. Is you is or is you ain't. I don't know. They ain't told us. They want us to stay in limbo, baby. At this point, I'm gonna believe what they have put out is that the woman has suffered an injury, which is why she will not be able to compete. But because Bianca still holds the tag team championships, she got to have a partner in order to compete. Now, under the OG days, if your partner went down, you had to relinquish the championships. No questions asked. You couldn't find a new partner to compete with because that partner was not the one you won the titles with. But times have changed. Okay? So now Bianca either has to find a partner to be able to compete with her championships, or she's gonna have to relinquish the titles, and they will be vacated due to non-compete. But Naomi was there conveniently to be able to step in for Jade Cargill and help her along. Now, where have we seen this before? I'ma tell you. Monday Night Raw sometime last year, Becky Lynch and Lita were the tag team champions, correct? Yes. If it wasn't last year, it was the year before, but I believe it was sometime last year. I'm going to stick to that because Becky Lynch was in the back. Lita got attacked. We ain't seen Lita since. It's like Lita got killed, okay? Came back. She didn't seek no vengeance. She didn't do nothing, which is wild as hell in WWE lore. Okay, that is weird. Most people come back to get their lick back at least one. You ain't panched the bitch or nothing. You your ass. God damn. Anyway, Lita gets attacked and goes down, and all of a sudden Trish Stratus steps up and say, "Hey, I'll be a tag team partner. I got you." And then after they lose the tag team championship, she attacks Becky, and basically the rivalry between Becky and Trish began. And we found out that Trish was the one who attacked Lita. Now, Triple H is known for recycling stories. He known for doing it. Okay, this one came out of nowhere with Jade being attacked and all of that. It just came out of nowhere. The storyline with Trish and Lita and Becky, you kind of got the clues that they were turning. One of them was turning on her. Okay, you kind of saw it because Trish was left out of the loop. Everybody else had a championship. People was loving on them. Yay, we love that. But she was left out of the loop. And Trish was like, I am that girl. You don't leave me in behind. Okay. So that's why she did that. But this with Naomi might be just a little bit different. But then again, you could just rinse and repeat. Naomi is the veteran in this situation. She's the OG girl. And Bianca comes up. Bianca gets the titles. Bianca gets all the praise. Bianca gets all the glory. But if it wasn't for Naomi's foot in the door and those before her, Bianca wouldn't have had the ease to the rise of the championships the way that she did. Even Naomi had to fight for the two championships that she had. And even then, she didn't really get the respected run that she rightfully deserved. So watching two black women come in behind her and do exceptionally well to the point that the fans are 100% on their side. They are at the top of the mountain, making major money, doing all these great things. And she had to claw, scratch, fight, and battle for everything that she's got. And she still has to do it. And it's no shade to Bianca and Jade because they're still going to have to do that. But Naomi has a different plight when it comes to her rise in WWE. So you can kind of see how her heel turn could be happening and should happen, right? You can kind of see how it's possible. I wouldn't mind it because you would get a nice rivalry between Bianca and Naomi that could work out, and possibly get a rivalry between Jade and Naomi if that is what ends up happening. It's a good way to have a long-term story outside of the major titles at the moment that is purely based on emotions and just people and their behavior. So we like this. We're going to keep tabs on it, but it doesn't have to be Naomi. It could be anybody. Bianca could have been the one who took out Jade, and they could flip the story and have Bianca take out Naomi like, bitch, I don't want to tag with nobody. You never know. You never know how they set this up. You know what I'm saying? Uncle Trip's been doing a little trickery, a little rigmarole as of lately. So we may get a nice storyline that has elements of the past, but has been reinvigorated for the new. Okay? All right. Now that we have fleshed that out, flushed it out, made it so you can see it with all its glory. let's get into the match. Michin went up against Tiffany Stratton today, and it was a decent match. The girls pulled out a decent match. For the better part of that match, Tiffany Stratton had Michin down and out. She thought she was going to get the drop on her. Now, earlier in that night, before the match happened, Nia Jax and Candice both were being very condescending and completely disrespectful to Tiffany Stratton. Essentially, what they were telling her is, we're not going to be out there by your side. We're going to let you do this by yourself because, I mean, you don't need us, right? The funny thing about it is that Nia Jax got a lot of motherfucking nerve because every title defense that she has had, no matter if it was her initially getting the title all the way up until now, if she did a loss on her own, which she did in Saudi, her ass has had help keeping her championship, just as her counterpart, Liv Morgan, has. There has not been one title defense, no matter who she's gone up against, that she has had where Tiffany Stratton or Candice LeRae have not interfered on her behalf. So for her to come at Tiffany with that type of behavior and that logic is wild as hell to me. Because it's like, bitch, you're the pot calling the kettle black at this point. I mean, just because you're champion doesn't mean you can't be a paper champion. And if we're being fair, if we're being real, you kind of embody what a paper champion is, babe. I'm just saying, like, I'm not trying to disrespect you. I'm just causing it like I sees it. You feel me? Oh, no. But Tiffany went out there and she wrestled Michin square. She almost had the girl, but she miscalculated that, Michin wasn't all the way down when she got ready to do that prettiest moonsault. So once she hit it, she didn't quite get all of it. She ended up injuring herself in the process. To Michin doing, her eat the feet. And that was the end of that. Michin has advanced and she will be in the finals at Saturday night main event for the U.S. Women's Championship. It is what it is, okay? Now, who her opponent will be is totally up to Chelsea and Bailey. But something tells me that Chelsea is going to be in the finals of that match. I don't mind the fact that Chelsea is going to be the one to be in the finals. I don't mind if Chelsea or Michin wins, but I really do want Michin to win that match. However, if Chelsea wins, I will be perfectly okay with Chelsea getting that W. But for now, we are looking at Michin at Saturday night main event for sure, and we still have a maybe on who is going into Saturday night main event with Chelsea or Bailey. So we're going to finish out the show. The next segment, we'll talk about in a second. DIY popped up to tell us what we already knew. Essentially, they did what they did because they felt like they were being overlooked. They were not given a fair shake, and they felt as though that were screwed out of a rightful opportunity at the tag team titles, a one-on-one rematch. If I recall, they did get one, but I could be wrong. If they didn't get one, then they were owed a one-on-one rematch. But they had the same opportunity that the Street Profits did and that the Bloodline did. They had many opportunities at the titles. Or, here's a thought, they couldn't have lost them in the first place. But whatever happened, it turned them into these conniving, sniveling little shits that we're seeing on TV right now. Ricky Ticky and then the snake that he keep calling with him, motherfucking Champa, is running around acting like they've committed the greatest coup in WWE history by lying and cheating and stealing the titles away from the Motor City Machine Guns. They're upset. They're mad because Motor City came in, red carpet was laid out to them. Well, to be fair, you guys weren't getting over. Let's keep it real. Ass faces, you guys sucked. You, you guys sucked. You guys were terrible. Nobody gave a shit about y'all. Nobody was screaming for DIY. Nobody was hollering for Johnny Gargano, the wrestling, Johnny Wrestling. Nobody cared. Nobody cared. You weren't getting over. So you had to do this so you can get a little traction going in your pocket. And that's cool. Whatever makes you happy. At the end of the day, you also are a paper champion. It seems WWE is padding the stats with paper champions. Congratulations. I don't know how to put it any other way other than it means nothing to me that you decided to steal the titles from the Motor City Machine Guns. You could have just beat them and then, finagled your way into being champions because you already had weaseled your way into being champions to begin with. Low blowing Chris Sabin was just adding fuel to the fire. Not only do you have Motor City Machine Guns coming for your ass, but you now have the Street Profits coming after you because you attacked them hoes too. So you're going to have to deal with all of them. You know what I'm saying? But it's cute. It's cool. Whatever. Whatever makes you happy. Now, they have recapped what Solo did last week to LA Knight and Andrade, and what he did to Apollo Crews, which leads me to believe that these three are going to come together to fight up against Solo. But there's a caveat because the OTC has a little message for Solo and all the shit that he's been spewing since last week. He don't like that shit. He said, bitch, we finna set this shit off right. Now, the OTC made it very clear that, he done lost everything. He lost his family. He lost his WWE championship. He lost his Ula Fala. Speaking of the Ula Fala, he basically was saying that Ulufala was not taken. That Ulufala was bestowed upon him. He earned that Ulufala from his father and his uncle, Solo's great uncles. So this isn't a situation of just take the Ulufala from him and it not have any consequences. So Roman said, let's count it out. Let's talk about it. Your bloodline won one. My bloodline won one. So it's time that we take this to a new level. January 6th might be WWE's Netflix, that's their grandstand on Netflix. But January 6th is tribal combat. Whoever wins is the tribal chief. Just to give Champion and them a little bit more bullshit. Apparently it was 1998 and we still in the grunge era and they decided to come out in black and white. I'm sorry. Look at them. Don't they look like a very terrible grunge band that had a one hit and they ain't even write it? Somebody from a current band right now wrote it that's still alive. Like, you just terrible. 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 Before Carmelo Hayes had a match against a mystery opponent, Legado del Fantasma, decided to go to Nick and talk to him. Essentially, they feel left out of the loop, which, okay. Whatever makes you happy, fellas. Basically what they told Nick was like, you are not in control of your show. Everybody is getting attacked backstage. Shit is happening. Jade got taken out. You see Drew McIntyre showing up, taking people out. Nobody's saying anything. Nobody's doing anything. You don't have any control over your show, clearly. And we ain't the ones who was doing it. I don't know why they felt the need to tell everybody that, because nobody assumed that y'all was doing anything. No, nobody. Let me reiterate. Nobody assumed that y'all were even in the picture, let alone an attacker of anybody. Nobody assumed that. Mainly because you are not a threat. You do not pose a threat. The four of y'all do not pose a threat to anybody's championship or their career. Let me reiterate, the four of y'all do not pose a threat to anyone's championship or career. I'm just going to give it to you straight like that. No chaser. No Vaseline, babes. You need it raw. Take it as hard as you can take it. You got to tough it up. Tough love. Okay? And as they walked up, they said, well, maybe we should go talk to the other guy. What's his name? Like, you think going to Raw is what's going to help you get a fair deal? Have you been watching Raw? Have you seen what be happening on Raw? If we being honest, Nick Aldis has more control on SmackDown than Adam Pearce could even dream of having on Monday Night Raw. And that's facts. That's not even me trying to be funny or crack jokes. Like, I'm dead ass serious. The chaos that is ensuing on Monday Night Raw, it rarely happens on SmackDown. Now, don't get me wrong. The bloodline are running rapid on SmackDown. We know that. But it's not happening amongst everyone all the time. Raw has people getting attacked in almost every division for everything. Okay? If you think going to Monday Night Raw is going to save your career, you're crazy. You'd be better off going to NXT. You'd be better off going to NXT for all three of y'all, well, all four of y'all, for the tag team you got with the Garzas, and specifically for Elektra. You'd be better off going to NXT. Okay? But that's just me. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm just telling you like it T.I. is, though. I'm just telling you like it T.I. is. Now, Carmelo went up to Nick and basically was like, hey, it's not smart, for this guy to just come in and, give me this match only for him to get smoked. Like, this is crazy. Like, this is an easy W for me. And of course, Nick was like, you think so? Well, why don't you carry your ass down to the ring and wait till he come out there? And he came out all right. Braun Strowman was his mystery opponent. And for whatever reason, this was a major squash match for Carmelo Hayes. Poor Carmelo. Now, Carmelo may be a lot of things, but he deserved a lot better than to be squashed in the middle of the ring by Braun Strowman. Now, I know this was supposed to be a nice debut for Braun on SmackDown. Love that for him. But at the same time, you didn't have to squash Carmelo like that. That's crazy. Like, do he need to be humbled? Sure, but not like that. Not like that. That was dirty. That was dirty. That was very, very dirty. But we gonna move on because there was another match that happened on the show. And of course, it was LA Knight versus Solo. Now, we saw what Roman said to Solo and demanded the match on January 6th for Netflix. Okay, this is the Netflix debut. Monday Night Raw is going to be a massive, massive show on January 6th. Okay, but Solo never really got the chance to respond because LA Knight came out there. Now, they did go to LA Knight and ask him some questions. How he felt about what happened to him last week. And LA Knight was just like, I don't give a fuck about no bloodline, no Ula Fala. I don't care about none of that. I was asked to be a part of it, but that's none of my business, nor do I care. But he said the problem is Solo's Ula Fala done got in the way of his goal. And he don't like that shit. So he said, now I'm going to have to tag your ass. So they got to fight. They got the reputating, okay? And as they was fighting, Solo was able to pick up the win. Now, that led to Andrade and Apollo Crews coming out there, and all of them fell to the bloodline. Every one of them. They beat the hell out of LA Knight, and all of them suffered a thumb to the throat, okay? They suffered a Samoan spike to the throat. All of them. Is bad. Is bad. And Solo walked away looking super strong. He walked away looking like a strong tribal chief. With Jacob and Thomas still on his side, he walked away looking super strong. Okay. I don't know, y'all. Let's see. It's shaping up, y'all. It is shaping up. Okay. The next thing we got was the final match between the competitors for the United States Women's Championship. Chelsea and Bailey are going at it for this championship. For the most part, Bailey got the match. Now, in some parts of it, um, of course, Chelsea was getting the drop on Bailey. She had some help from Piper, but Bailey had a very strong showing in this match. Chelsea Green picks up the win with a lot of help from Piper. I expected nothing less. The finals are going to be Chelsea Green versus Meechin for the inaugural United States Championship for the women. At this point, either one of them could win, and I would be fine with it. Chelsea's probably going to turn it into a very campy, fun time. And Michin, obviously, is going to be a fighting champion if she gets the title. So, either way, the title will be in good hands, no matter who gets the belt. Motor City Machine Guns had a little message for Gargano and his dark friend, the Blackheart Champa. Essentially what they said was, y'all just mad because y'all not us. The reality is we worked our asses off to get here, and we made good on the opportunities that we had. Now, you do however you want. You know what I'm saying? But he said, next week, I'm going to show you why I'm the teacher and you're the student. Now, Alex, I love you, babe. But even in those instances, the students become the teachers. So you might want to be careful how you roll in these streets. Eyes just saying. Watch your back. You need to have eyes in the front and in the back. Okay? Just just so you know. Now the next person we see once they come back from commercial is Shinsuke Nakamura, and he's making it very clear that this roster is going to be put on notice, and that he is going to be destroying and dismantling anybody who stands in front of him. This is a whole new Shinsuke we're seeing here. A pretty cool one, but a whole new Shinsuke. So, as the U.S. champion, we will see what Shinsuke is capable of or what he's going to do going forward. But we also have to acknowledge that he is the U.S. champion, and he is at the top of the mid card as of right now. Him and his unwavering mist. Tiffany Stratton had a tough night, and instead of her friends in her group, being by her side and just saying, hey, you know, we got you though. They decided to lay it on real thick. And of course, Nia Jax says, well, not everyone is meant to be a singles champion like me. Girl, the delusions of grandeur. You're delulu, honey. I keep telling y'all, sometimes I be wondering about these people because they be up here talking the most shit and be the most suspect motherfuckers. But that's when Candace pops in and she says, while Tiffany was out there, trying her best, which Candace got a lot of motherfucking nerve because didn't she lose in the tournament? She didn't even advance as far as Tiffany did, which she helped her advance. But come on, babes. You lost. You should be more concerned about you losing. She decided to go to Nick Aldis and get a tag team match to face off against Naomi and Bianca next week. Now here's where I'm mad about because I have a sneaky suspicion that they're gonna make them drop these championships. And God knows I would rather eat dirt than to watch Nia Jax walk around with 2 titles. I just would. I don't want to see that. And I don't want to see Candace get no championship either. But she then lays it on even thicker and then drives the knife even more in her back and says, Tiffany, maybe you're just not meant for singles titles. Maybe you're just not meant for singles wrestling. Like, girl, as long as you've been in the E, the only title that you have ever held is the NXT Tag Team Championships, if I recall. So for you to be running around talking the kind of shit you talking and you don't have the credentials to back it, now some of y'all gonna come in and say, Tiffany, you wrong because Candace is decorated. Yes, outside of the WWE. We talking about right now. And right now, Candace ain't got nothing to be bragging about. She has no leg to stand on. She right where Tiffany at, if we being fair. Now, we're not talking about skill and ability. We talking about the resume. What do your WWE resume say? It don't say nothing, bitch. Like you, Tiffany got a leg up on you in this one. You know what I'm saying? Tiffany the big champion in NXT. The big kahuna champion. Your ass was still trying to get that shit. Okay? Now I'm just causing it like I sees it. I ain't taking up nobody. I'm just causing it like I sees it. All right. Now, Candace walked away and Tiffany was looking at her belt. Now it seemed, well, she was looking at her briefcase. It seems that Tiffany may consider cashing in on Nia Jax. Personally, I don't give a shit at this point. Girl, do you? Cash in on her. Whatever makes you happy. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I really don't. Neither one of them are paying that girl any dust, which is very disrespectful and out of line, but they're doing what they want to do, I guess. So then the last segment of the show is Kevin and Cody. Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes were supposed to have a, last chance meeting, but it didn't really turn out that way. What we saw was Cody come out there and Cody was talking to Michael, but before they could actually talk, Kevin sat in his car and conducted what he called his bombshell interview from his car. And he asked Cody, how could he use all his friends in the locker room to beat Roman Reigns only for him to then turn around and team up with the man later? A legitimate question that could have been asked before Kevin Owens went through all this rigmarole of taking out Randy Orton and being a big bitch about it. He never asked Cody the truth or never wanted to hear the truth because he had already made up in his mind what he believed the answer was. He felt like he was used by Cody, and then Cody just cast him to the side. But that's not what happened. It's not what happened at all. Either way, he doesn't care, and it doesn't matter. He said that he's just covering up for the fact that he's a shitty brother and a terrible son. And then he went for the jugular and essentially said that the truth of the matter is that Cody is much more interesting at Stardust than he ever was in his whole 250 plus days as champion. Them's fighting words. So Cody was like, you know what, Michael, thank you for your time. I appreciate you, Playboy. You came out here, you dressed for the part. We love that. And you was being a professional. But I'm gonna have to go back there and talk to Kevin myself. And since Kevin don't want to bring his thick ass out here, I'm gonna go ahead and go get him. Let me go ahead and go get him. Excuse me. So he ran his ass back there. And instead of him just going prepared, he took his coat off and dropped his belt in the ring and ran his ass in the back and got attacked, ambushed by Kevin. They ended up running out in the ring, fighting, and Kevin bust him in the face with his damn title, child. To be hit in the face with your own championship is some disrespectful ass shit. Okay? But it is what it is, babes. It happened. It happened. And so Kevin was the one standing tall while Cody was on the ground being nursed by the producers and the security team. Now, Saturday, which is tomorrow, is Saturday Night Main Event. It will broadcast simultaneously on the Peacock Network as well as on NBC. So if you don't have your local channels, you can stream it through your Peacock subscription. Okay? The next Saturday Night Main Event is going to be on January 25th. That is the next PLE that we will have. It's a TV special instead of a PLE, but that's the next one, and it's going to be in San Antonio, Texas. Tomorrow, they will be in New Jersey, I believe. No, Rhode Island. It's Rhode Island, I think. They're going to be somewhere in the upper states, okay? Now, tomorrow, we're going to have Kevin and Cody fighting it out. You'll have Liv and Io fighting it out. You'll also have the triple threat with Gunther, Damian, and Finn fighting it out. And you will have the fight between Drew and Sammy. Okay? So we got a lot going on. And then the final bout between Michin and Chelsea will also happen at Saturday Night Main Event as well. Chelsea did beat Bayley tonight, so it will be Michin and Michin. It will be Michin and Chelsea who will compete for the Women's United States Championship. And that's it. That's all. Now, just so y'all know, I am well aware that Tessa Blanchard's clown ass has showed up back in TNA. This happened against Jordynne Grace. I guess Jordynne Grace was going up against Rosemary, and she showed back up. Now, from what I understand from what is being said in the dirt sheets, Jordynne Grace had no care to put Tessa Blanchard over or wrestle her in any capacity. But I guess in her professionalism, she's going to do her job so she can leave and go where she wants to go, which I believe is over in WWE. And me personally, if I was Jordynne Grace, I would be going to Monday Night Raw on January 6th so I can get the biggest pop of the night and show up and show out. Okay? Because this right here is unnecessary. I will talk about Tessa Blanchard next time I go live, which is going to be tomorrow after Saturday Night Main Event. But for now, we'll leave that bitch where we found her and let that can opening chin bitch stay where she at. I will not be watching anything she's doing in TNA. And as long as her ass is over there, I'm sorry, TNA, you will not get my dollars or my eyes. I can't do it. I don't like her. And she damn sure don't like women who look like me. So I could give less than a fuck about her showing back up in TNA. Okay? With all that being said, thank you so much for listening. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I do. Please make sure you rate, comment, and subscribe. Do not forget to do that. It really helps put my show out there for people to hear. Okay? And I will see you guys tomorrow after Saturday Night Main Event. Have a good night.
If you don't want to see me, if you don't wanna see me, did a full 180, crazy, thinking about the way I was. Did the heartbreak change me, baby? But look at where I ended up. I'm okay already, so moved on this.